Hello, I am Donny, and I am the cute one.
And I am Chelsea, and I am the cute one.
TGIF, cuties. TGIF.
TGIF, indeed.
Chelsea just walked me through how to use a little bit of my computer. There's still many questions I have, but we're recording 13 minutes late because I needed a tutorial. I am an old woman.
You are an old woman, and I don't think it bodes well if I am the Apple genius of this duo, because I'm no IT person.
And that's the second time I needed you to do it today.
What was the first time?
When I texted you about the bank.
Oh.
And I said, you just have to walk me through it or completely do it yourself because I'm in this website and I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, we're trying to be grown-ups. I've decided that 2024 is going to be the year that I become good with money. It is September, but I'm also a procrastinator, so there's no time like the present. So we've been doing some banking, some preemptive tax work. We've really been grown-ups this week, Donny.
We really have. God bless us.
Well, I don't have much else to add to our fun little Regis and Kelly segment. I spent my time, like I just said, being a grown-up. I watched the Mormon Wives show, which I will be talking about in the meat of this episode.
Perfect.
September is still going strong.
Have you shit yourself since?
I have not.
Okay, good.
I've just been doing my steps, listening to the second Crescent City book, just a little more fairy porn for the eardrums. Should I get a kitten?
No.
I've never been a cat person. Dr. Bald grew up with cats. My youngest daughter has decided she's a cat person, apparently. And I never felt strongly about cats, but when I visited my friend, she had 2 new kittens, and my dog Lonnie, who is 13, I want to get her a playmate, but like she's too old for a puppy. It would probably break her hips and send her to an early grave. But she was around those 2 kittens, and it was so cute. She loves cats. Her little ears were perked up. She was wagging her tail. Like in her mind, she was playing with them, and then they snuggled with her. It was so cute. And now my coworker has a litter of kittens.
Kittens don't stay kittens for long, though, Chelsea. In 6 months or less, you'll have a cat.
That's true.
That's the trouble part.
Yeah, and I think in my mind, I can train the cat to behave like a dog. But I know that's not how cats work.
No, I didn't train her to be this way, but my cat kind of behaves like a dog. And it's still a cat, though, because then it's so close that you're like, if only you looked different. It's like a woman with short hair.
Okay.
Like, we have everything right, almost, except the bob.
Okay, well, TBD, because Dr. Bald and I have been conversing, and it's not like I would be an irresponsible pet owner because, again, he grew up with cats. He knows what to do. I haven't had much interactions with cats. I do think it will hurt my feelings if the cat isn't obsessed with me, which I know is a real possibility because dogs are so easy. They're just a boost to the ego. You come home and it's like Christmas morning for them all day, every day.
And it will still have a favorite, though. That's even the harder part. So you can write cats off as being aloof and not a fan of anyone. But then when it only likes Quinn, well, I'll put myself in your shoes. When it only likes Dr. Bald, it does hurt a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. We're conversing about it. But it's really funny because for 10 years almost that we've been married, he's been saying, let's get a cat, let's get a cat, let's get a cat. He's brainwashed, like I said, our youngest daughter to say, let's get a cat, let's get a cat, let's get a cat. And then it's very funny. I call his bluff. I say, okay, my coworker has these kittens. What do you think? He's like, we can't handle another responsibility right now. I'm like, you motherfucker. You just wanted me to be the bad guy, the anti-cat woman.
Well, it does seem like that was the plan, but remind him. Maybe it's been a long time since he's had a cat, but remind him cats are not a responsibility. And I don't want PETA to come in my house and take me and my cat away, but the amount of care you have to put into a cat is not much. That's all I'll say.
All right. So stay tuned, cuties, for that new segment I'm calling, Am I Going to Get a Kitten? Question mark.
Hopefully it doesn't last long.
What have you had going on in your life, Donny?
So Cece, you may know her, Cece Loves You on Instagram. She came to New York this week for a business trip, and she came half of last week, of like Labor Day week, into the first half of this week that just passed. So originally when she planned her trip, we were going to spend a lot of time together because, as you know, she lives in the Netherlands. Hello, my love. So I never see her and she never sees me. And we always talk about being like fat bitches together. We want to go on a McDonald's tour across the continental United States, etc., etc.
If that was a reality show of you and Cece taking on McDonald's across the country, I would tune in immediately.
Thank you. you. I do think it has a little spark to it. She saw Chicago like 3 times with Ariana in it. I was at the Eagle with my friend seeing Naked Men, so our schedules didn't align. So then this week we made up for lost time. So one day we had lunch by the Brooklyn Bridge. That was lovely. And then the next day we got a day pass to go to a pool.
You have been living your best Pisces life lately.
I truly have. And I told her that I love a pool. It would make my life better if I had poolside access. I told her that when I tell my therapist this, she tries to dig into it and say, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And I was like, I told Chelsea it means nothing. I told my therapist it means nothing. I just like being in a pool. And then she said, well, does it symbolize something from your, like, childhood? And I said, I don't think so. Like, I had a pool then, but I think I was just raised to want one now. Why did I say this? Because then it went somewhere else and I did have a revelation, but I forget what it is.
Uh-oh.
That's how a lot of my revelations happen, though. And that's why Quinn and I would fight a lot, because he would explain something to me in a fight and I would get it and say, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I never realized I do X, Y, and Z. But then the next time I did X, Y, and Z, I forgot that we ever talked about it.
You have an aha moment followed by a, wait, what? Moment. Happens to me all the time.
Is there a way to not do that?
I think maybe you could start writing it down.
Okay, so here's my problem with that. Regarding Quinn and I fighting, I would have an aha moment and I would write stuff down because I know that I would want to remember it for later. But what I found myself doing was just writing down the things that he said in a fight. Like, even if he didn't mean it, if he said, like, you're the ugliest person on the planet. He never said that, cuties. This is an example. I had to pick one so outlandish, you knew it was fake. If he was like, you're the ugliest person on the planet, and then because of that I had an aha moment, I would only write that he said you're the ugliest person on the planet. So then 8 months later, when we fought about something else, I would say, remember on March 20th when you said I'm the ugly?
On your birthday? This is a really mean story about Quinn. I want to stress again, cuties, this is false, but I think we're having an aha moment as we speak that in this hypothetical conversation, your ex-husband called you the ugliest person on the planet on your birthday. So now that maybe you've recognized that you're quite literally keeping a grudge list a la Ryan from The Office, maybe we move away from that and you do write down the, wow, pools symbolize this from my childhood.
Okay, maybe I'll ask Cece if she remembers what I said, and then I can write down what she says. But she might not remember because she was so busy trying to get me fucked at this pool. There was this man that was looking at me often, so much so that when I went in a corner and sprayed myself with the suntan lotion, I knew he was watching me. So then I rubbed myself in slow motion. He moved his seat to be over where I was doing that.
Oh, for a second I thought that you meant that he saw you rubbing your nipples in slow motion and then he like scooched his chair away from you.
No, he crossed sides of the pool to sit where I was doing that. But then I just got in the pool because I was like, I understand you do want some, but that cuts into pool time. I'm here for the water, not for the other splash. So then I went in the water and Cece was like, should I get his number for you? Do you want to go get his number? I won't care if you disappear and go to the bathroom. I was like, none of that is happening. I'm in the water.
Did you not listen to any of the aha moment? The pool represents something. I can't remember what, but I'm here now.
Now, wait, I didn't tell you this, Chelsea, because I knew it would be lost on you, but the cuties would like it. So the other day, no, it will. Okay. The other day, Hillary Clinton came to see Oh Mary. So all of the normal people that have the job to take care of celebrities at the end of the show, they all had to deal with Hillary. So it was like 10 people that walked her out, blah, 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 blah. So then that left a celebrity on the other aisle, Cynthia Erivo, who was playing the Wicked Witch in the Wicked movie.
I see now.
Yeah. I don't care about her as a celebrity. I know she's a talent. She was great in The Color Purple. I can't wait to see Wicked. But as a celebrity, she's not someone I fluster over. She's no Leah Michelle. She's no Blake Lively. She's no Mandy Moore. Cynthia Erivo, a talent. Maybe more talented than any of those people I said, but...
Maybe.
But as a celebrity, But then they were like, Donny, all the important people that work here are going to be taking care of Hillary Clinton. Can you go on the other aisle at curtain call and walk Cynthia Erivo to her car? I said, surely. So I went to the other aisle at curtain call and said, hi, I'm here to walk you to your car whenever you're ready. And she said, hi, I just want to watch the whole curtain call and clap first. I said, sure, that's fine. But the whole point of me there is to push past all the like normal people seeing the show and get the celebrity out before they start exiting. But because she watched the whole curtain call, we were trapped in the group. And I said, well, just stick with me and I'll walk you to the right exit. And she said, do you mind if I latch on, dear? And then we held each other like we were at a wedding walking down the aisle, and it took 4.5 minutes for us to get to her car. So she just held on to me for 4.5 minutes.
Iconic.
And we chatted. Now, here's the thing. Work won't love you back. I am so professional at work that it sucks my personality out. So I wanted to let Cynthia Erivo know I am a fun human being. I'm a great human being. You should get to know me. I'm a huge fan. But I didn't say any of that in person. So then I went on Instagram that night and said, hi, Cynthia. I was the usher that walked you to your car at the end of the show. It was a pleasure meeting you. I had a wonderful time, blah, blah, blah. But Chelsea, I don't know if you know this. Instagram now has a rule where you can message someone twice. And then if that person doesn't write you back, it doesn't let you delete a message, because if I wanted to stalk you, I could message you twice. If you didn't write back, I would delete the second one, send a new one, delete the second one, send a new one.
You've thought it out.
They have. I've never planned this. I've just witnessed it, unfortunately. So I sent this message. However, I sent one in the past to her as well.
Uh-oh.
And that was me tagging her in a video when the Wicked cast was announced, saying that I should have played Glinda, not Ariana Grande. And it was me with a blonde hair filter singing songs from Wicked. Now, I couldn't delete that or this new message because of the 2-message rule. So if she sees this new message, she will also see that.
Let me ease your mind, because she's not going to see that, because you see it because you posted it. But if it expired, if it was a story.
It was a reel, Chelsea. It was a reel.
Can you untag her?
Oh, I could do that. Yeah.
And then does that give you a second one?
Oh,
Stalker's loophole.
maybe.
You didn't think of that, Instagram. I do think you have a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation with your work persona and your home persona. I personally am relieved to hear that you just sent a message saying it was a pleasure to meet you, because I imagined you making like work small talk chit chat with her, linked arms, and then going home to be like, let me tell you about a time that I shit in a stranger's bed. Like, I feel like the pendulum, you get off of work, you take off that work persona, and it's like, finally I can breathe. Let me let my true demon out.
Well, no. So going from professional to unprofessional, I still have the professional in me because they know where I work. Like, if I did say, hey, I shit in a stranger's bed, she could say, okay, I'm telling the head of the theater. You should not be telling me this.
I see.
But one time it was switched. So you may recall earlier this summer, I was obsessed with that song from Pitch Perfect. I took a bath with mood lighting and recorded myself and tagged the entire cast. They saw it. Some of them laughed. Some of them followed me. They said, you're so funny. Brittany Snow and Anna Kendrick did not, but the rest of the cast did interact with me in some form. Now, the next day, Anna Camp came to see Oh Mary, who is in Pitch Perfect. And she had seen this video of me in the tub the day before. So that was a little awkward for me. Now, she didn't seem to recognize me, which I don't know if that's better or worse.
Well, maybe she didn't recognize you out of the tub, fully clothed, not soaking wet. Well, that's why we're manifesting our skyrocket to fame. And so we want a life where you can join the professionalism and your garbage goblin tendencies into one form where we're having them on this podcast and you're being professional by being chaotic.
Yeah, and that's why I messaged Vanessa Hudgens in our group chat.
I beg of you, Donny. Every time Donny tags me unwillingly in a story with a random celebrity, a chain restaurant, he somehow has clicked into the option where a group chat is formed. So if Donny is visiting me and we're passing by a Cheesecake Factory and he posts a story of himself and with his hand out longing for the sweet, sweet Cheesecake Factory and tags us both in a story, now there's a group chat. Me, Donny, the Cheesecake Factory. Me, Donny, Vanessa Hudgens. Me, Donny, Ashley Tisdale. The list goes on and on and on with how many group chats I am now in with corporate America and me and Donny, or Z-list celebrities and me and Donny. Does this also mean that when you are in the bathtub tagging the cast of Pitch Perfect, do you have a group chat of you and the cast of Pitch Perfect with just videos of you in the bathtub?
No, it only does it with you. I don't know why.
I don't know either, but I would really like it to stop.
Why? One day it's going to pay off. When Kamala's on our podcast, then you'll care.
Truly, one of the circles of hell for me is being trapped in a group chat of any kind. And now somehow I found myself in hundreds with you. Along with my group chat plight, this week brought us the presidential debate, Rachel Zoe and Richard announcing their divorce, the launch of the iPhone 16, the VMAs, Kendrick Lamar being announced as the Super Bowl halftime performer, and most importantly, we had our live show.
We did. It was a success. So much fun, as always. So if you missed it, obviously you can't experience it live, but we did save the video and audio on Patreon. So you can just go subscribe if you're not already and watch
I did make Donny cover the series premiere of Gilmore Girls, so you'll get to hear all of his thoughts there. And then we had a really fun question and answer segment at the end.
Yeah, I'm still surviving.
I'm
Call
a
me
survivor.
Reba. Oh, or Beyonce. You can call me whatever you want.
Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato.
I am thrilled about the JonBenet Ramsey limited series coming to Paramount Plus. Now, if they would have just said that, already I'm excited. A scripted. We've got so many documentaries about this little angel. It's time.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
It's time that we get a scripted drama to really sink our teeth into. So I would have watched it no matter what. I would have watched it if it was on Lifetime with some bitch I never heard of. But instead, we got it on Paramount Plus, an 8-part, I made 8 parts up, but it seems like how much we need. An 8-part limited series starring Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen.
Who are they playing?
The parents.
Oh, okay.
Incredible. Now, I do wish it was made in the early 2000s / late 90s, so we could have had, imagine this cast, Sandra Bullock as the mother.
Of course.
And Dakota Fanning as JonBenet. But we can't have that, so I'll settle for Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen. Now, JonBenet will have to be an unknown, I think. We don't have any stars that shine as bright as she did at that age.
Isn't it kind of strange, though, to like be bringing in a child actor to portray a child star that was exploited and taken advantage of?
Somebody's got to do it.
I guess so. I guess so. Is Ryan Murphy behind the helm?
He's not. I wish he was, because then it would really be trashy. I'm afraid it's going to be too, like, middle ground, where they're not going to want to dramatize anything, and it'll just be boring. But people tell me, so I'm 38, you may know. People tell me all the time that I look anywhere from 28 to 31. Do you think if I shaved my facial hair, I could play 11 and I could play Burke?
I hate you so much. People tell me I look between 28 and 31. Who?
They really do.
Show me the
Anyone.
receipts.
Boys and girls. Because if it was just boys, I would say it's like when boys used to tell me I look like Megan Fox because they just wanted to fuck me.
I don't know if you could get away with an 11. I think it would be a hard 11.
Burke is a hard 11.
You did once during a recording look at yourself the way you love to do, because for whatever reason, it must have been a Halloween episode, but you were wearing a blonde wig, and you did spend the majority of our recording looking at yourself and saying that, and I quote, "I look just like JonBenet."
And now I remember it, and I did. I want to make a YouTube series, or maybe Reels, where I am JonBenet vlogging from heaven. Like, hey, guys.
I don't know about that one, Donny. I know that you do get your most creative inspiration from JonBenet Ramsey. Hashtag never forget the advent calendar that you created in the workplace to honor her. But I don't know if a YouTube series where you're playing a dead 11-year-old child.
No, I think she was like 6. Burke was 11.
Great. Then you know what? That changes everything. Go for it. I know nothing about this case. I'm pretending to know who Bert is.
Burke is the brother.
Bert?
Burke.
Oh, with a K?
Yeah, Burke is the brother. That did it.
You think so?
We'll talk about it later. Okay, really quick. I think he did it, and the parents didn't want to lose 2 children. So then they covered it up for him, which is why it's so sloppy. Because it wasn't a premeditated death, I don't think. I think the parents just had to work with what they had.
And they had to give the old razzle-dazzle the way that they forced their daughter to do.
Yeah. So if there's anyone that could play Burke, it is me.
Great. Well, I look forward to hearing your dissertations as that show comes out. Okay, so I want to talk about another show.
Okay.
That I've been bullying you about all week long. because I got into the secret lives of Mormon wives and I'm obsessed.
A lot of people are, Chelsea.
Now, I don't like this format. The whole season dropped at once. I was thinking we were going to get to do episode by episode. Today, I'm just going to be talking about episode 1. The First Book of Taylor is the title of the episode.
Great.
And if the cuties are interested, maybe I will talk about it on Patreon because I cannot stop talking about it. But I wish that it was the option to watch it week to week because I feel like this show is going to have such a short shelf life to talk about it because everybody's binged it and then we're just going to like move on as a society.
And that's the problem with things that drop. I don't know if this is coming back or not, but if it does, when you don't watch it week to week, you forget what happens. So it could be your favorite show in the whole world right now. And then when it comes back, you're like, who are these people?
Yeah, for sure. Because I can barely keep them straight even now. What do you know about this mom talk, Mormon, mommy vlogger community?
I know one did a dance with a dead baby.
How dare you? The baby was only in critical condition.
Oh, okay, pardon me.
Shout out to Ether Opal on Instagram. Please go to her stories. She does really funny like Barbie reenactments of reality shows, and she reenacted the dancing scene. And I'm probably half the views on that video because I watched it upwards of 100 times in a row.
It was so good. I also know that they all like fuck each other's husbands or something, and that's how they got famous.
Yeah, so they were, and I quote, soft swingers, which meant everything but penetration.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if butts count because this is the Mormon community. And in the intro, the way that the graphic of the show title comes up is like a Google search. And one of the things that pops up is soaking. So it's a wink and a nod to us normies that have learned about the culture of soaking, also known as floating. So I liked this show because I feel like they've found people who are ready to play the game. Like I feel like, and we've talked about this, but Real Housewives have gotten to a place of self-production at a level that isn't sustainable. Like they are in on it too much at times. But this group of people, number one, the desperation for fame is there. They also think they know what's going on, but they're about to have their world shattered because they're used to curating their own image on TikTok and social media. So you can tell like what they think they're presenting, but already the shady editors are like, nope, we're actually going to pull footage from this cop cam from your domestic violence arrest. Spoiler alert, that's how episode 1 ends, with a police call and the cops showing up to a drunk Taylor Frankie who has pissed her pants. And it is a sad situation because it's domestic violence and like she might be the perpetrator or he might be the perpetrator. But she's sitting there with urine in her pee pants and she gets booked. And that's the cliffhanger we're left on. Like they are showing it all and they don't give a fuck how they look because they all look bad.
Oh.
I'm telling you, Donny.
I'll give the first episode a try. But here's what I hate, Chelsea. Number one, I hate reality shows that are non-competition shows about young people.
Well, these are very young people, but you might get some old people too because they're young women married to old men.
Well, that doesn't do it for me.
I know. It's really bleak, actually.
And I need my old women, middle-aged women, to be under a Bravo edit. I don't watch other networks either. So I have a very distinct taste for reality TV. However, what I hate even more than reality TV about young people, what I hate even more about non-Bravo shows about middle-aged women, is people telling me how much I'll like something. I said, not you, this is to all the kitties, all the real Donnywood followers, all the people who know me in real life, who saw my message to you saying, Chelsea is bullying me into trying to watch this. And they came into my DMs and said, oh, you'll love it. It's right up your alley. It's so bad, but it's good. Leave me alone! Just leave me alone!
Well, I know that you said that wasn't directed towards me, but I am now going to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes telling you why you'll definitely love it. It's funny because they think they're giving Kardashian. They think they're giving shaken up salad, talking about glam. But like, for example, we meet Jessie, who owns a hair company, Jay-Z Hair. And the very first scene, she's talking about the billboard that says Jay-Z Hair and the fact that the community is mad at her because they think it says Jizz Hair. Or we're meeting Whitney, for example, who they say likes to be the leader of the Klan. Maybe we don't use the word Klan. We've been talking about this group of women who look the exact same and are white and blonde. I don't know. But Whitney moved to Hawaii for 2 months to, and I quote, get away from the noise. We find out that her husband was on Tinder because he had a porn addiction and he's confused sexually. Never talked about again. I have never been so concerned about hair on a man's head. On the YouTube, I will post the picture I'm showing Donny.
That looks like Joe Exotic. Is that his name?
Yeah, the Tiger King.
Yeah.
I'm so concerned for that. So we learn all of this about Whitney. Then there's a funny one-upping situation where she comes clean to the girls that yes, her husband was on Tinder and potentially gay, TBD. And Taylor one-ups her and is like, well, by the way, I just had a miscarriage. And also I am maybe going to get married to this man, even though it's only been 3 months since the scandal, 1 month since my divorce. But I'm dating this man who used to be an addict, even though I refused to give up drinking, even though he almost died from fentanyl, even though we have trust issues. And when we first posted a TikTok together, my mom came into the comments and put red flag emojis. And then all these people slid into my DMs because he was potentially cheating on me. But I like jealousy because I can tell that he's interested. So anyway, no red flags here. And Whitney's response is like, well, this bitch just one-upped me.
Now, here's the problem I'm falling into, Chelsea. I hate everything I said I hate, but I do love when people talk passionately about something they like. So right now, you're tricking me into thinking that I will like it because I am get excited listening to you speak. But I'm afraid when I go and watch it myself, I'll hate it.
Also, we have a very toxic mother-daughter relationship that we haven't seen the likes of since Monica and her mom, Candace and her mom, Tinsley and her mom. And I don't know who the villain is yet, or if they're both the villain, but there is clear tension between Taylor and her mom that I really enjoy.
I do love a bitch mom.
Yeah, but honestly, at this point, I'm kind of team her mom because clearly Taylor is going through it and is making some pretty wild choices. Like, may I say again, she's 3 months out from the whole world knowing she was a soft swinger, 1 month out from her divorce, 7 weeks out from her new boob job, and now she has this boyfriend who she met on social media. He slid into her DMs, and she just had to start dating him because, and I quote, he looks exactly like Jake Gyllenhaal. Does this man look like Jake Gyllenhaal to you? So I'm all in on this show. I'm very excited about it. I haven't even gotten to the labiaplasty that apparently happens in an upcoming episode. Monty was telling me all about it. So at the very least, I'm going to be going on our friend's podcast to talk about it. But if I can suck you into the vortex, maybe we could do a Patreon episode or talk about it in a future TGIF.
Well, because you're so passionate about it, I do give you permission to use this platform for however you want to use it as well. So if you want to do a Patreon episode with a friend of ours, you can.
Okay.
Even if I'm not there.
You give me permission to talk about it away from you, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is I do love a Salt Lake City vapid girl accent because it's different than the California Valley girl, but it's a lot of hard G's, like soft swinging, like the culminating dramatic scene when Taylor, on camera, tells her mom that she needs to take a pregnancy test. Her mom's response is, "Are you for real? Are you for real?" And she's like, "I'm for real." I love the way that these Mormons speak.
I do love the way they speak. I love the way the women look. I don't love the way the men look. And that makes it a tough sell for me.
But do you like the idea that all of the husbands could be gay?
Not if they're ugly. And that's why I don't like gays from anywhere other than a big city, because, okay, here's the thing. If you're in a big city and you're gay, you can dress like you live in the capital of the Hunger Games and get away with it. And that's how you can show off your flamboyance. I was going to say flatulence. You can show that off, too, if you want. I do. That's how you can show off your flamboyance. Like that see-through shirt I wore to the O'Mary party. I love to show a nip anytime I can. But these gays from middle America who don't have the freedom to do that, and I understand that's where you come from. It's not you. You want to show nip, but you can't. So instead, you have to have that ugly haircut that Whitney's husband has to show that you could possibly be gay. But you're only showing that you have no style and deserve to be not even back in the closet, under the sewer.
Under the sea. They have a weird double whammy because they're also TikTok famous. So they have all the TikTok micro trends going on. But then this was also filmed like a year ago. So not only that, but it's like micro trends that were micro for a reason. And now we're a year later. And I'm like, why does it look like you have Muppet hair on your head, sir?
Because he does.
He does, yeah. So I'm very interested. Again, I've only watched the first episode, but I'm hooked and I'm going to binge the rest today. And it is interesting because it almost takes it a step farther than Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where we're starting to learn about the church, and each of the women are like in different levels of indoctrinated. And so some are drinking for the first time on camera, some don't drink, some participated in the soft swinging, etc. So it's a really interesting like peek behind the curtain, and I can't imagine that the church is going to let it go on for a season 2. Right. So then I think the women are going to have to choose truly between like fame and religion, which will be interesting to see.
I will give the first episode a shot.
Thank you.
But I am still reeling from giving the first episode of Gilmore Girls a shot.
But can I remind you, and this is why I love the cuties, you used to write down the things Quinn said in a fight. I don't need to keep tally because the cuties got my back. They're keeping tally for me. So may I remind you, Sucker Punch. May I remind you, the first
Sucker
season
Punch
of Glee.
You evened out
may I
already.
remind you, Ashley Tisdale Spotify Radio. May I remind you, I don't know. The list goes on and on and on.
You've done all the same to me. Glee is the only one that I would even remotely humor to be adjacent to this. And if you wanted to cover this on the Patreon week to week, I could do an episode a week. But for you to ask me to binge something and cover it, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Thank you. Christ.
Let's move on to Cutie of the Week.
Yeah, let's. So my Cutie of the Week is Brandy. Because I saw her new movie at Alamo Drafthouse yesterday, The Front Room. Before I saw it, I did notice that Brandy was the only famous one in the movie. And I said, that could go either way. Brandy is not really known for her acting skills. I laughed out loud the whole movie, even in parts that weren't supposed to be funny, because I don't think Brandy can act. But it makes it more enjoyable that she can. Because she's still selling whatever she's giving. It just is maybe not good.
She's like the person handing out free samples at Costco. You're happy to see her even if you don't like the product.
100%. And I did love the product because after the movie I told Quinn I loved it and he said, loved? I was like, yes, I did. Because I read a review, Chelsea. It felt like I wrote the review. I read a review going into the movie because I said, do I want to see it? Brandy is the only famous one. And again, what does that mean? So I read a review and it said, the stepmother in this movie, who's like the villain, the stepmother in this movie will join the ranks of camp thriller classics such as Ma and Mrs. Tingle. And I said, what is this woman about to do on my screen? Now, I can't tell you what she's about to do on my screen. I don't want to spoil it for any cuties. However, I do want to do an impression.
Great.
When she soils herself and says, MESS, 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 mess. It's the best movie I've ever seen.
See, that's happening to me. You're so passionate, it makes me want to give it a try.
It's about this woman, Brandy, who's married to a white man, and she's having a baby. And then the white man's father dies, so the stepmother comes in to live with them, and she helps take care of the baby, but the stepmother is very religious.
Is it Cinderella again?
No. Okay. The stepmother is very religious, like Christian, and was a daughter of the Confederacy as well. So she like puts hands on Brandy's stomach and speaks tongues and stuff. But Brandy teaches, what do you call it when you teach about all different?
Like philosophy?
Yeah, and like talks about like African statues and all this stuff. So she is not for the Christian shit. But it just gets more and more crazy. Including soiling herself.
Mess.
It's so good.
Wow. Okay, I might have to check it out.
You do.
My cutie of the week is Kelly Bishop, a.k.a. Emily Gilmore.
Oh, my God.
Circles
Leave me
become
alone,
circles.
I said.
But she has come out with her autobiography, so she has started doing press. And she did say that she is Team Logan, which you all know by now. I'm a Jess gal at heart. But I have to agree with her. I think it's similar to the phrase, you know, when people say, like, I hope you have the day you deserve. And that's like a bless your heart kind of way to say, like, you're a fucking monster. I hope you get hit by a train.
Yeah.
I feel like saying that she's Team Logan is acknowledging, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Rory deserved Logan. Rory did not deserve Jess. So in a way, I too am Team Logan because they both deserve each other. They deserve to have the day they deserve. So shout out to Kelly Bishop. I probably won't read your book, but I love you as Emily Gilmore. Hashtag Team Emily forever. And that just leads me to one final plug for the Patreon live show. So again, if you want to hear me for an hour torture Donny, patreon.com/I am the cute one.
It was a time. And that is the end of our TGIF episode, cutie. So we already plugged the Patreon many times. Also, go to our YouTube where you can subscribe, like, comment, help us trick the algorithm into finding more cuties. And on Monday, we'll be covering The House Bunny, which was a joy to watch. We will talk to you later. Love you like a sister.
Bye.
Bye.